Hey, it's me, and just me for now. I am not sure where my co-host Jim is, but I know we were talking about doing this, so I think he's just slacking. But I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. I can hear or see the little bubble around my face, so I'm assuming all is good. Let's see. We will say hi to everyone, and then I have a question. Because I'm wondering if I'm crazy or not, but I probably am. So, anyways, we have Mrs. Good Stuff here. Thanks for being here. She is number one. Snuggy Jr. is here. Hashtag teach me how to Snuggy. Mr. Von Stugel. I hope I don't lisp, but I might. So he says, let's keep the lisping to a minimum. And that is in reference to last night's chat show. If you guys haven't seen it, Vanessa pulled up Mark Brooks' tweets and basically read them as a lisping female. Let's see. Mo Biggs, hail the Mo. And I did see George. Thanks. You guys can hear me. That's always good. I am hardwired in. I'm plugged in my wireless headphones. So hopefully in the middle of the stream, I will not go blank. Such a boomer. Anyways, let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Stato popped in. He said he's on a lunch break. Wanted to say hi. He'll catch the replay later. Now, I was looking at Creator Go. We'll get into it more in just a minute. And I'm like, what are we going to cover? But maybe we have some suggestions in the chat. So the question I have, because I thought I was going to be a little late, was I was doing, oh, Jim's here. I was doing the laundry, and the laundry I'm doing is towels. Because my daughter is the type that she'll take a shower every single day. She'll use the towel once, and then who knows where it goes. It doesn't always end up in the laundry. So she's in the shower, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then she gets out of the shower. She's like, where are the towels? I'm like, well, they're in the washing machine. I don't know what to tell you. She's like all upset. And I'm like, well, that's what happens when you use the towel once and you consider it dirty. Now, I don't know if most of you are of the camp that, yeah, once you use the towel once it's dirty, or if you have the camp that, you wipe off with it, you're good for at least another 2-3 times, however much you use. But I usually save my laundry to the weekend. So if you don't got it during the week, you ain't going to get it until the next weekend. But anyways, hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm fine. What did I walk into?
I was filibustering.
I see. What was the towel dilemma?
My daughter came out of the shower and she's like, where are all the towels? And I'm like, yeah, downstairs in the laundry, in the washing machine, being washed, which I was going to call her out when I saw that she was taking a shower. I'm like, hello, we are on a well. I'm doing laundry and you're using the shower, but whatever. She didn't complain about the water pressure, so I guess that's okay.
Anyway.
Snuggy's pointing out, what? You don't need to wash towels. Yeah. Hey, Dave, thanks for joining. Astra Zombie is here. George is asking, do you only talk about books actively funding? Skits number 0 is demand, but I heard it's headed to the printer already. Oh, I don't know that I heard that update, but that's cool to hear. I don't know. I guess we're kind of going by the seat of our pants with this. My thought was those that are active funding, because 1, to get more eyes on it, and 2, it tends to be like the newer creators, because most campaigns that are like returning creators, they've met the funding goal pretty quickly. So when we're looking for ones that haven't funded, usually it's first timers, and I guess we're kind of critiquing the campaign to
let's look at a couple unfunded ones, and then we can go to that if we have time.
Right. Well, I was looking. Have you looked at them today? Now, you guys know that we tend to pull these up pretty last minute. Do you got it up, or should I be sharing and you can run stream? Okay. So I was just last minute looking at this to see, like, what are we looking at? So those that aren't funded, I think the first one is that Vigilant Fury.
And
we've already covered that one.
Fractured Echo.
And we've already covered that one. And I think those are the only ones that have not funded yet. which I don't know if we want to bring them up to go over them again, or if we just want to bring them up to say, hey, reminder that these ones could use some love, because maybe the people that are watching it haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you're watching, go to CreatorGo/CG and look at all of the campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
That
Now,
are
there is a person that runs this, so there could be some campaigns that are missing. I know for the longest time, Johnny Phantasm wasn't on this for whatever reason. So, but yeah, so James Freeman does Vigilant Fury, which we went over. I don't remember what episode it was, but it was at least 3-4 weeks ago. It is a black and white. It's about a lady who I believe gets human trafficked, and her quest to basically save herself, I think is what it is. And then Fractured Echo has Rod Looper and Aaron Bennett. I'm pulling these off my memory, guys, so I could be very wrong. And they teamed up, and it's kind of like a bisexual lighting book. The colors are cool. The art's obviously cool. It's Rod Looper behind it. But I believe it's a space adventure. I don't know if there's something happens like they're taking over the spaceship because it was decommissioned or something, and then they found people that are into like psychedelic drugs, which explain the colors. I could have the story a little off, but it sounds interesting, especially if you're into like a space adventure type thing. Oh, I am slacking on the thing. George is professing his love for Johnny Phantasm. Astro Zombie is asking if Male Violent Rising is CG. I am not familiar with the title, so I'm not even sure who the name is and if I've seen them around. And Mo Biggs basically gives that answer. Not sure. This is the first time I've heard the name. I don't know. I suppose we can look at Male Violent on. Is it on IGG?
Malevolent.
Male Violent. Oh, Malevolent. It's not violent. Okay. Malevolent.
Excellent. Do we want to look for it? Where?
I'm assuming it's on Indiegogo. Oh, he says it is on Creator Go at number 77. Oh, yeah. Oh, it says it's ended and it's funded. But we'll pull that up. We haven't seen it. At least I'm not familiar with it. And I'm thinking Nadsbot has I always mispronounce his name, has some belief to tie it to CG. So I'm not sure how.
Yeah, it's closed.
Maybe it's closed.
It says closed.
Oh. Well, that doesn't help. I'd say we could look at it and critique the campaign still, but if people liked it, there'd be no way to back it. And Astro Zombie says he asked because he met the artist at a local con. So what were your impressions about the artist? Must be probably a decent interaction. That's why you're mentioning it. Vanessa's pointing out to like the video.
There's one that's open.
Oh, there's another one? Okay.
Malevolent Rising 5.
Oh, so it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. He has like 7 campaigns.
Okay. Brandon Sanderson. Name sounds familiar. I'm assuming it's not the same Brandon Sanderson, right?
Same as what?
Isn't Brandon Sanderson the guy that made, $41 million on Kickstarter? His first name was Brandon, right?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, someone can confirm that in the chat. So Astro Zombie points out that the artwork was good. The writing was okay. You're not selling us on the book there, AZ. The artwork was good. All right, so I don't know. I'm not sure I'm too keen on the first image I'm seeing there. Like, that's not really making me want more. I figured it wasn't the same person. Yes, but they spell their name differently, Amanda. The guy who makes 41 million on Kickstarter probably be making a little bit more on this Indiegogo.
I'm not one of those Kickstarter people, so I have no clue what you're
Well,
talking.
it's the only reason why I know of is because it has been some like CG news where it's hard to ignore somebody who's making 41 million on a crowdfunding platform for I don't know if they were graphic novels, they weren't. I don't think they were quite comics. I think there was something a little bit more substantial, but more like graphic novels. So, yeah. All right. So, what's the goal on this book?
It's in demand, so it's already funded.
Okay. So we don't know what the goal is because it's in demand.
All right.
It's
So,
on book 5.
it must have been lower than $687. Maybe it was flexible.
Mm.
Silence.
I can't. The writing. I was gonna read them, but the writing's too small for me to read.
Oy vey.
Oi. Exactly. Oi. Now I can't maneuver my screen. Okay. So, Malevolent Rising Book 5 continues the story of an alien who has come to Earth to escape the sovereignty of powerful intergalactic empire bent on universal domination. Our heroes' backs are against the wall as a new threat emerges. I've also put together a sketchbook that features concept drawings, behind the scenes content, never before seen art, and unused content from the comic. Cover A. Seems like a bit of a jump between the first paragraph and the second paragraph. Doesn't flow very well, in my opinion. But anyways, that's just me. Vanessa's pointing out that they were novels. So, okay, 4 fantasy novels. All right. I'll have to tell you guys about my Kickstarter experience. I know some of you know, but I don't think George has heard it. James Hayes is here. Hello, Amanda, Jim, and all of you fine folks frequenting the chat. I hope you're having an excellent Sunday. So far, so good. All right, I can gather what's going on in the art, so it's not completely horrible, but it's not really grabbing me. I do have glasses, but I'm actually not wearing them at the moment. Maybe that's my issue. Although technically they're long distance. Looks pretty violent. Person cut in half.
And that's it.
Mo points out, scroll faster past the shower scene. George is in the chat. And Mo says he's not a huge fan. Oh, I like that pinup. Mo says he's not a huge fan of the art. So you're right. I'm not really a huge fan of the art. No, the one with those ladies sitting on the floor. I thought that pinup was pretty decent.
I had to go back and look for a shower scene. I don't know what he's talking about.
Right. Keep going up. It was right after the one that I said stop at.
Are you talking about behind the scenes? This?
Right there. I'm assuming that's it. Although that doesn't look like a shower. It looks like a changing divider. Room
So
divider
anyway,
type
that's
thing.
just a graphic for the sketchbook. Behind the scenes.
Oh, and that makes sense.
Yeah, that's like a changing thing.
The lady's face looks a little funny, but I guess it looks okay.
So this is nice and brief, but maybe a little too brief.
Is that all the writing that was on it? Because it was the
That's all
covers and some interiors. Yeah.
So I suppose for people who have already backed book 1 through 4, maybe they don't need more, but I would think you need to set up every campaign like brand new people are going to see it. Don't get too involved and get people bored. give enough detail, let people know what the book is about, what's going on here. In my
Yeah.
opinion.
Although at least he does include, because I remember there was a campaign we were talking about previously, and I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was El Crudo, but at least this one talks about like what happened in the past. Because I'm looking at the thing where it's like, alien comes to Earth and whatever. I'm assuming that's what all the books are about, which is kind of nice. And I'm wondering if there is a new threat each book. Maybe he uses that header for every single campaign.
Yeah,
Because now there's a new threat. Now there's a new threat.
looks like there might be other campaigns going too, so I don't know. It's a little cluttered. But the one on CG Tracker links to a closed campaign.
A
So
close. I wonder if it was a situation where he like prematurely launched and then he canceled it and then he
yeah,
created this one, like we've seen before. Let's see. Is Brandon the artist? If so, the art is very different from his first book, which I remember being an anime. Actually, that's one thing that it doesn't tell you. It doesn't even say who are the creative hands on this book. Maybe he does it all. The page where she's flying with energy beam hands looks kind of cool, but the rest was sort of meh for me. Astro Zombie says picked up the first couple of books. Some of the art was really good and some pages looked rushed. Snuggy points out that if there wasn't a new threat, there wouldn't need to be a new book. Very true. All right, so is he the only creative person on this? Is that what it's? Have we figured that part out?
I have no clue.
I thought you might be reading the updates and maybe it gave it away,
I'm trying to
but I
look this
guess
up.
not. Okay. It's gonna be a giant-sized series finale in book 6. That image looks pretty neat. Oh, and that says it's for issue 6.
Right, that's why I don't know. Maybe there's other campaigns. Maybe this isn't the latest. I have no clue. They're not in order. The top one, when you pick on it, go to his page. The top one's closed. The second one was open. I don't know about the rest of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, and this is August 20th, 2021, which it closed almost a year ago. This must not be the newest one then.
Right, and this update is talking about Malevolent Rising 6 character variants.
Oh, maybe he's one of those people that updates the past
5 months ago. Yeah,
the
they're all
past
good.
campaigns. I don't like it when people do that.
Yeah, but I think they have to because there might be people who didn't get the second one, so you're getting them with the first mailing list.
Right.
It's a
Well, I
plan.
suppose, yeah.
It would be nice if they would not double down, you know what I mean? If, maintain the mailing list, and if someone's on a later one, get rid of the first ones or something. But
Right. Well,
because
I can understand when
Billy
they
Tucci,
announce their new one
I'll get
and
like
then they
4
announce that
emails
it's
from Billy
closing.
Tucci because I backed 3 times.
Right. Yeah, the updates in between are kind of, hey, I have a new one coming out, and hey, it's getting ready to close. So if you're hoping to back it now. One of those things. But copying every single update to all the past campaigns, bit much. All right. So this is in demand, right?
So Malevolent Rising Complete Edition has 1 through 5 in it, I believe, and that one's closed.
Well, that's not complete because we know that there's a 6.
No, it says for those. No, I think 6 was included with the complete, which was 1 through 5. But that campaign's closed.
Hey,
It's
good stuff.
just hard to follow.
Yeah. It's one of the downfalls when you start getting into the multiple numbers. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you're numbering them in order, you know where to start, but a little difficult to find them.
Second Chance is closed. I don't know if that was before. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
one of
that
the
was a
books.
campaign I was thinking we could check out. The second campaign for was it City of Rot? I think that's what it is. I know it's funded, but and I've seen it's a I don't know if Kayla's just the editor or if I think Kayla's just the editor and what's her counterpart for the channel? Rooster Puncher? Is that the right person? You guys might know better in the chat to
Yeah,
confirm that.
Spencer.
Spencer, right. He, I think, created it and I think he might have wrote it, but somebody else is doing like the arts and the colors. So they did a second chance campaign that I just recently became aware of. I guess they got it. They got their books in. Unfortunately, they had some damage to them, so they're working on that. But there was like a lot of damaged ones, so they're like, "Well, what are we gonna do with this?" And so they're basically doing a second chance campaign to potentially sell some of the damaged ones. And I actually ended up backing um, the damaged copies because I'm like, I just want to read them to see what the story is because, you know, unfortunately, the art isn't really jumping out at me, but they sound like interesting stories. So, so that's why I ended up backing it. So yeah, Spencer Desmond, Dean, and I lost. Oh, I'm still zoomed out. I'm like, why do I not have the scroll? I was gonna highlight Snuggy's thing. How it does only has 23 backers. Snuggy, did you hear about it beforehand? Because I know I haven't, and I have a feeling that's probably one of the main reasons it only has 23 backers.
What?
The male violent book.
Malevolent.
But yeah, word of mouth, getting out there,
Mhm.
talking to people. Maybe he's doing that. Maybe it's in the wrong circles. Who knows? But I
You're
can't
gonna
say
drive
I've
me to
heard
drink
it. Yeah, I heard you crack one.
a crack
All right.
open rock star.
And we have Jason Black in the chat. When you figure that out, you let me know. I think I have to do the @ and then type things out, which is why I shorthand everybody's name. What? When are you ever sarcastic, Snuggy?
And I type out the whole name so it does highlight for the people.
Right, but you're usually on your laptop or desktop or whatever you use, aren't you, or no?
Both. All of the above.
So if you type out the name on your phone, it highlights it? Or like
Yeah,
if you type
it
out
turns
the @
orange.
and then the whole
You
name?
don't have no, you don't have to put an at. Just spell their name out the whole way, exactly the way it's spelled out, and it highlights for them.
I don't know that mine does that. Probably one of the
Yes,
downfalls of an Android.
yes. YouTube does it.
Okay, all right, all right.
It doesn't highlight for you; it highlights for them.
I could. Okay.
You don't see the highlight; they
Yeah, yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Can an interesting story really carry a comic book, or is good art required in a visually storytelling medium? As a matter of record, can a visual story be good without quality art? I think for me, there is a degree of which the art can be um, mediocre, and still be okay with the story. However, if I don't have a great story and I have meh art, I'm not really coming back to it. You know what I mean? It's one or the other has to be gorgeous. And honestly, I'm of the type that prefers the story to the art. So if I'm finding a story that I'm really liking, I'll back the writer again or the continuation of the story.
I don't think the art's bad though. See, art is subjective too. So, how
I
pretty
don't
do
think it's
zombies need
bad.
to be?
You could see what's going on. No, that's good. And then it's not like you just have the characters, you have background going on, so it's a full clear picture. Because there are some artists that tend to just highlight the people and like the background's a whole blur or nothing that's in there.
Listen, it's bikers versus zombies. It's a good story. Back it.
It's a good story. Have you read it? Has anybody read it? Because I'm pretty sure people have gotten this. Some people might have gotten this out because I think they were doing fulfillment.
Yeah, they're fulfilling.
But look, see the Damaged City Rot, $2.
What?
The tier that you just scrolled by. Now this is newspaper style comics, to my understanding, so that's probably one of the reasons why it's not very expensive at all.
Right. I don't know if.
But I'm like, how can you go wrong with a $2 comic? Did you want to answer James Hayes' question about the art in the story? I can go back to the original. Can an interesting story really carry a comic book, or is good art required? That's a question for you, Jim.
That's a question for you. Oh, everyone.
I already answered it. That's why I'm asking if you wanted to add input to it.
Yeah, and I added to your. You don't like the art. I do.
Okay.
So does the question even? I think yes. A story can be good and the art mediocre. If the art's bad, I won't buy it. If it's mediocre and I think the story's good, I like the creator, I'll back it. But that's just me.
Okay.
And it can't be a novel because the stories are usually a little too short to make into a novel. Novels are pretty long.
True.
Which is one of the reasons that comic books are so awesome and graphic novels, because they're not, you don't have to commit 6 months to them of occasional reading, bedtime reading or whatever. You can sit down in a few hours and read the story. And hopefully have the same emotional reactions or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So Mo says, if the art is meh, the story has to be completely amazing, and 99% of the books don't live up to that level of writing. And James goes on to elaborate, am I mean to say that a visual story with bad art may have well been a novel?
Right, that's why I said I don't think so, just because they're too short.
Probably have a point.
But there's also really great art out there and mediocre stories. So, different people like different things. I like the art.
Yeah, I've heard people that have backed comic books just for the art and have not read them. And no intention to read them. There are some people that haven't read them because they just haven't gotten around to it. So Jason points out, if the art doesn't carry the story, then just write a novel. Why make it a comic if the visuals aren't the priority?
And like I said, you'd have to write a whole lot of comic book length stories to create a novel.
So Comic Make points out a good point here. $2 is suspiciously cheap. How good could it be at that price? And I don't want to buy crap just because it's cheap. I hear you on that. But when I read like what the book's about, I'm like, oh, that could be interesting enough. And I'm okay with spending, what did I think I got one for $2, one for $1, or they were both $2, and I think it was $5 shipping. So I paid like $8 for 2 comics for this campaign. Now, I've gotten books that were $25, $10 shipping. So you're looking at $35 that I'm kind of like, this is meh. So, if I'm going meh for $8, it's much better than going meh for $20 or $35. So I
Right,
guess
but
I'm more of that camp that I'm like, I'm willing to risk it for $8.
so a lot of the creators just throw away the damaged issues after the campaign. So
right,
it's
and that is damaged copy prices, yes.
Plus, think of it like a supermarket. There's always cheap stuff at the cash register. So, or, whatever, it's marketing. You have something cheap to bring people into the store, and they might just grab a t-shirt too, or something else. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah. And that is correct, Mr. Von Stugel. And Mo goes on to say that's because he's dumping the damaged copies, Dean. The book is normally $6 and it's basically an Alterna style floppy.
Yeah, see, the regular price $6.
There's a request for you, Jim.
No.
Oh, come on. You say deliver $6 million to the drop-off location before the deadline, or you will never see your goldfish again.
No, but I'll say une bouteille de vin pour jeter le chien.
That
That's
sounded
similar, right?
gibberish and like a slur. That drink already affecting you, or what?
No, it's French.
Yeah, I know.
Bottle of wine or I kill the dog. Isn't that
Oh,
similar?
is that what that said? Okay.
Yes, some French coworkers made me learn that line.
A bottle of wine of the dog.
Yeah, I think I looked like a wino, so they tried to teach me to say a bottle of wine or I kill the dog.
For that off chance that you go to France or French Canada.
I worked for a French company.
All right, so there was a second book. So City of Rot had the bikers against the zombies, which is pages that we're looking at now. Yeah, the art gets the story across. It's just not something that I'm completely excited about.
I don't. I liked it. I've seen much worse. The coloring could
It
be
is
better.
indie. It's definitely indie.
The proportions look all right. I don't. It's not oddly wrong. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true. Yep.
You know, it's like he doesn't have a giant head or a tiny head and things like
Perspective
that.
looks okay unless you start getting out your protractor and measuring.
I think the coloring is all flats. It could be that might be the intention, or maybe with the newsprint. I don't know.
Jim's not doing the commercial here. So George points out, great sales pitch. I've seen worse. It's not oddly wrong.
George knows what I mean. There's some
So,
artwork you look at and you think, so is this guy 14 years old? This doesn't give me that vibe.
you're right. Looks like an adult, not a baby, not a child. Mo says they thinks he went mostly with flats because of the newsprint.
Right, yeah.
Have we gone to the second book yet? Or are you just in
I don't
awe
know what
about
you're
the City of
talking
Rot?
about.
Should be down further. There's a summer camp one. There are
Yeah,
two books on
you
this
weren't
campaign.
reading anything, so I was just scrolling up and down, looking at the.
Oh, we didn't go far enough. Scroll lower.
Are you talking about that summer camp book?
Yeah,
I was
there's a
I was
second book
there.
right there. Return to Summer Camp Rainbow #1.
Not summer camp, but camp.
Oh, Camp Rainbow. It's been almost 20 years since the Camp Rainbow massacre, and final girl turned FBI field agent Shannon Mercer must reluctantly return to the small New England town in search of what she believes to be a copycat killer. Is Buddy back from the dead, or is there a new killer in Carpenter County? It's funny, and I don't know if it's just me, but if there's mention of like New England, it piques my attention.
Right, and they're from New England, so.
No, right, but I don't know if like the geographical area, like, if Jason Black sees a book that takes place in New Zealand, if he's all excited, like, oh, New Zealand, let's check this out a little bit more.
No, I
So,
know. I know exactly what you mean. A lot of movies are made in like Seattle area, and when I was living there, it was kind of neat to see Seattle. You know what I mean? To see places I've been in a movie.
right. Or if you're watching movies, to go visit the place that you saw in the movie.
Right,
So
or
comics made.
made
Oh,
where you grew up.
yeah. I hate when artists draw kids as just people but smaller. Very true.
Yeah, kids should have big heads like they do in real life.
Right. Itty bodies, big heads. So this one is kind of gives me like the uh Jason Friday no yeah Friday the 13th vibes. So I kind of like that. I know I back when I was younger I liked your horror stuff. I've tend to grown out of it being older and when it comes to horror stuff I have to do it during the day and definitely not right before I sleep because my mind will start um making my mind work and it's hard for me to sleep and I just freak myself out. So, I do like horror stuff, but it would definitely be like a during the day type read. So, I thought these ones were kind of interesting because it does remind me of like I do like zombies. I did watch The Walking Dead except for like the last couple seasons and there was Fear of the Dead and all that stuff. Like the zombie stuff doesn't scare me so much and neither does the serial killer. It's usually weird stuff like UFOs and aliens and ghosts and that stuff I tend to usually shy away from. But so I was kind of excited to see this. So is killing everyone at Camp Rainbow considered a hate crime? I don't know. Does it go into detail as to what Camp Rainbow is? Or is it just a happy name? And then Jason Black says he's not interested in New Zealand. He'd rather read a book about Seattle. So it looks. So wait, Ryan Wynn does the Camp Rainbow? Is that what I just read? Oh, covers. Traditionally inked covers by industry veteran and ink king Ryan Wynn, of which is a name that I am familiar with. And Spencer must have some artist capabilities, considering he's doing a sketch card for $15. I don't know. I like the art on the Camp Sunshine better. Not that there's a huge difference. She got a knife to the throat. I don't
Camp
know.
Sunshine?
Whatever this book is. Yeah, Return to Camp Sunshine, is it not?
Rainbow.
Oh.
I've
Okay.
been talking with my mute on, so
Oh.
probably a good thing. Last night at camp, local weird kid just snaps. Sheriff took almost 23 minutes to arrive. Is this Indiegogo safe artwork?
I don't know. My guess is the prologue. Because the story is about how the last person alive who became an FBI person is
Yeah, it said
dealing with
1990.
copycat murders. Yeah.
Special Agent Mercer. Sheriff saves the day.
So
Now,
General
now
Piggy,
we go
welcome.
to 2005. What's that?
Okay. They said welcome to General Piggy, and then he was saying that apparently John, Anna, Cecil, and Kelsey are in City of Rot as a cameo. Well, that would be kind of neat to pick them out when I get it. I always like little Easter eggs like that.
Right. So yeah. So flashback to 1990. Now we're in 2005. And here's some reading for you.
So So here's the deal. We got City of Rot funded in November 2020. If you backed the campaign, you know everything that go wrong could or did. More than 2 years later, it's summer 2022, and we are finally fulfilling the campaign. Books are getting into backers' hands, and we had so much downtime trying to find a printer during lockdown that we made another comic and included it for all our backers. But we had one big problem. Our newsprint run with the newest printer, or the new printer, had defects throughout 75% of our print runs. See, I said there was a large amount. The books are still readable, but there was no way we could sell them at the cover price. Some dinged, dented, or creased in sections. A slew with little hairline tears. Some, I'm sure, even I missed. But some have a thin white line that cuts through random panels. Our printer promised us they would fix it and reprint the books 2 weeks ago. And this week they called us and told us that there were no damages and we would have to sue them if we wanted to get our reprint. That's kind of crazy. This surprised us because we were already trying to schedule our next print run with one of the other departments, but obviously we will no longer be working with them after this. It is an active mess that we are containing, but we didn't want people to have to wait any longer. So yeah, we are offering the damaged copy at a severe discount to get them out the door to readers ASAP. We will also offer a limited supply of undamaged copies of both books. City of Rot and Return to Camp Rainbow are both horror titles and great to hand out on Halloween if you want your neighbors to hate you, or better yet, you could hand them out to friends at your next Halloween party. Makes for a unique party favor, and I think we pair well with whiskey. So it says the campaign will be fulfilled before the Halloween season. We have books on hand all ready to go, and fulfillment will take off right after the campaign finishes. Undamaged books are printed and bagged and boarded already. Damaged books will come in a regular poly bag with no board, but everything is shipped in a rigid mailer. We already had events lined up for Halloween, and the printer issues have thrown a wrench in the works. All proceeds from this campaign help us get things back on track with upcoming releases we had slated. Any extra funds will go towards making sure the printer never does this to another small business again. Yeah, they did have a magazine, I think, with people, a bunch of different people submitting stuff for, because I remember they were looking for people to submit works, and they were going through that, so it was their next project that they were going to do, but they had to put that on hold while they dealt with this stuff.
Yeah. Every backer will receive a digital copy of Buddy's Back by the Institute 91. So
I got my City of Rot package, but haven't gotten around to reading it. Jason points out November 2020 to summer of 2022 isn't more than 2 years. Damaged newsprint comics is one step above spiral notebook paper. Hey JP, welcome.
George better be careful because someone's going to pick up on that, and we'll be seeing a campaign for a spiral notebook comic soon.
Forget saddle stitched or perfect bound or stapled. We're getting spiral bound. Bringing us back to the traffic heapers of the 90s. Stretch goals. Start at 2,500. What are they at? They got a bit to go for the first stretch goal.
It's at 1640. Shelby Robertson, that'd be cool.
The blood foil variant. And to recoup their losses, they need $5,000.
They better start hustling.
Yeah. I don't know that I've... Like, I see Kayla in the chats every so often. Rooster Puncher a little less. I know they have their own channel, and Kayla does Kayla Cuts Deep, I think, every Thursday at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I think they're one of the ones that rely a little too much on their own channel and don't get out enough, in my opinion, to other channels.
Well, I know Kayla's been on, is it Joe's channel or Out and Stuff? One of them. But been hanging out with Sean, Aaron, and Joe Sontag quite often. And, you know, because she has, I think she works in a comic book store, or she just really has a really good knowledge of, you know, past comic books and mainstream
She
history and
does,
stuff
or
like
she
that.
does, or she has. But yeah, and it's also good to see her. She's been doing some interviews of people. Yeah, definitely starting to see more, but not
But yeah,
enough.
I don't think she's promoting her stuff. I think she's helping promote other stuff.
Yeah,
Others'
she
stuff.
mentions their stuff once in a while, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen any big campaign pushes. You know what I mean? But I could also see not pushing it too much if it's late and going to be even later.
No, I think they've already got them. That's why they know that they're damaged. So they're just getting the stuff out.
The damaged ones, right? But what about all of us waiting for the undamaged ones that have
Well, they
been?
got some undamaged that they also have available. So I think those that have backed it will be getting it soon if they have not already got it.
Probably.
Like they have everything that they're getting. Because why would they be offering undamaged copies if there's still backers that of the first campaign that aren't waiting on their undamaged
I need
copies?
my poster of Kayla.
There's a post of Kayla.
Well, it's of one of the characters, but she modeled for it. It's a pinup for the
So is
first thing.
she it or she modeled for it? Like it is a illustration.
I don't know if the character is based on her, but she is the person that modeled for the artist to create the pinup from.
Okay.
She's a body double for the character in the book.
Okay.
For the
I was thinking it might just be an image of her, you know, like a pinup of her, which would be interesting. You know, kind of
no
cool,
pinup
different.
of Darcy, but
You know,
she
she's
was who
cosplaying,
wrote for it.
doing the Anna thing before the Anna thing.
It's an artist rendition made
Yeah,
from a
yeah.
photograph of her.
I get it now. So Mole corrects me. He's like only 25% of the run was undamaged, so they're doing a second print run. I'm just confused of why they would be. So they're gonna wait to receive the undamaged ones for those that got the undamaged on the second chance.
No, probably the first. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Mo makes it sound like they're doing another print run of these books, and I didn't get that understanding.
For the first campaign. Yeah. If the books most of the books are damaged, they can't they want to give everyone on the first campaign undamaged books.
Right, but they're also offering undamaged for the second chance, so that means they are going to have to go back and order more if they're offering too many. And I just wasn't grasping the fact that they're doing a second print on these books.
Maybe
That's
they're
it.
gonna make yeah, I don't know.
Mo says they are, but I was just saying, I didn't get that. Welcome to Eric Guapo. Probably not, George.
I wanna refund my poster if Eric the Guapo really is the pinup model.
Yep. All right. Any other questions about this campaign? Anything else going on? We didn't go over the tiers so much. I don't know if you want to scroll down real quick, but it is a newspaper print books. They're what? The second book was 24 pages. I'm not sure what City of Rot was. $6 for the undamaged copies, and yeah, I think it was City of Rot was $2 for a damaged, and then showing the Return to Camp Rainbow was $1 for the damaged. You can even do the buy the girls a drink for $1, which I'm assuming the girls is Kayla, and I'm not sure who's referring to the other girl.
Probably Spencer's wife or girlfriend. She helps do fulfillment and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Beth.
Okay. I know the shipping on this wasn't super expensive. I think I got the 2 books for damaged and paid $5. I'm assuming 2 undamaged books would be $5 because it would be the same weight, but
No, I probably should have logged out, shouldn't I? $5 for US, $20 for the UK, and probably Australia.
yeah, and I don't think when you added 2 books, the shipping changed.
Probably not.
JP is asking were they damaged like in Cerebrum. I didn't know that Cerebrum, as in like B. Rose's book, I didn't realize that was damaged, or if you're referring to In the Mind. But it is a newspaper quality paper, so I guess there was little tears, little creases, a thin white line going through some of the panels, and that was just a couple of the issues that they said that they found. But it went through 75% of their print run. Eric says, how many pages? Remember, from my memory, I want to say that the Return to Camp Sunshine was 24 pages, and I'm not sure about the City of Rot. We can check on that in a minute. Eric wants to say, it's worth it, Jim. He promises.
Mm-hmm.
Camp Rainbow.
Illustrated
Jeez,
by
even George is picking on me today. What did I do?
illustrated by Vince Rush and colored Ben Soto. You're not saying anything.
Yeah. Go to the top for a second. How many pages was City of Rot?
58 pages.
58 pages. And scroll to the Camp Rainbow, because I'm pretty sure that, if I remember correctly, was 24.
I don't think they said the page count, but they may have. 26 pages.
26, okay. That was a little off. Well, you would think so. James Hayes asks, are printers required to replace damaged copies of a book? I believe from what they were saying in the campaign is they were under the understanding that they were going to get them replaced, but then the printer came back and said there was no damage. So who knows? Who knows what they were looking at, and maybe
reputable printers do. They make sure the customer's happy.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're a little less than reputable though. Or at least whatever division. It's probably that same one that gives everyone else problems sometimes, depending on which facility. What do you want me to do now?
Well, Mr. Von Stugel says, next.
Right. So what's next?
I don't know. There's nothing that really...
What was George asking about?
Oh. What is Camp Sunshine? He was trolling me.
No, what was that first book that George asked about?
Oh.
Skits.
Oh, Skits Book 0. Yeah. Dean is asking, I'm assuming this is in regards to the printer, was this Comic Impressions? That'll be the 3rd time this year I've heard shitty shit about them. I have not heard what printer it was through, and I didn't see that they named them in the campaign. So I am not aware of what it was. So Skits Book Origin, or Origin Book 0, is the 2nd campaign by Michael Siegenthaler. I could be butchering that last name. Now, Skits was crowdfunded, or Skits Book 1 was crowdfunded. It was the book that had like the 3 different covers, but it was technically 3 different stories. Like there was some most of the pages were the same, but there were some pages that were just different in each of the book, which gave it kind of a different reading experience. Now I know I heard about it from George. George backed it. He said he liked it, so I was excited when I saw that book 0 was coming out because I backed Skits book 1 and book 0, which Origin book 0 takes place before Skits book 1. I butchered his first name? It's not Michael? It is too Michael.
Listen, you can't just read everything Eric DeWapo says.
Well, he had me wondering. I'm like, is it not Michael? I could be so wrong.
He also said he's a pinup model.
That is true. And that he's been #1 backer for lots of books and showed receipts for them. So yeah, we're George, when we first started looking at talking about campaigns, George mentioned that this one was printing. So this is in demand. You can still back it. It's going to the printer, which Eric DeGuapo was pointing out. It Michael Siegenthaler does mixed media art. I know I have some original works from him. I also have Glyce, which is one of the pinups for the first book. I want to say Eric DeGuapo has some of the glisses, or maybe it's just the prints of some of the art that's in the first book too.
That was a glitch. What?
Glyce.
Can you spell that?
I could definitely spell it better than I can pronounce it. Glicee, and there is a little tab over the first E, whatever you want to call them. Or GI. Oh, okay, I didn't spell it right. Damn it. There we go. That was me. That was me right there.
G-Clay.
Yeah. So yeah, this is something we could get into. I don't know. So JP from Raiden Radio says, wow, 172 backers for campaign 1, but only 70 backers for campaign 2. I am not sure if this is something that went wrong, or like maybe it is a situation where he had 3 different books with like some pages that were different, so he advertised it as 3 different reading experiences. So maybe some of those backers of the first campaign backed 2 or 3 times to get the other covers and
right, but
reading
like
experiences, maybe.
James Hayes is saying, we haven't seen them around like we did on the first campaign also.
Well, I'm sure there's other factors, but yeah.
They've been on, Ethan had them on, you know what I mean? I haven't seen them on Ethan's channel for a long time.
Okay. I know I did see them on some of the smaller channels for Skits Book 0, but then again, it's the small channels. They don't have a very big footprint with some of the stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just like everything, marketing and visibility.
So George says he only backed 1 version of Skits. He liked it. And he heard from people that backed all 3 versions of book 1, and everyone said the same thing. The books weren't that different and weren't worth it. I did hear that. But like, going on the fact that if you had a bunch of people that backed the first Skits and liked it, you would think some of those returning people would come back. So there has to be something more than just the word of mouth. And
I
people are
wouldn't know.
basically saying it's not advertising.
I wouldn't know because S is way too far down in the alphabet for me to get to yet.
Mo Biggs is pointing out they got on Bancross, but it's the only channel they've seen the book on. 0 came out of nowhere too. That is true. I know they kind of did a countdown for book 0, but it was like, hey, we have this book coming out in like 2 weeks. The build up definitely wasn't there. James is saying that his wife is a little left leaning and some channels refuse to promote them as a result. I didn't hear about that, but okay. Dean says he didn't even realize this was a thing. Yeah, and they also announced via their website that they're doing a children's book, but I think it is part of the Skits universe. So I don't know. I haven't read Skits yet, so I don't know if it's a character, what it is, but I believe Skits is involved and it's going to be a kid's book.
I
I
agree.
think if it was
No
Skits
Big's a
book 2,
thing.
it probably would have done better. Probably.
Yeah, I agree.
So George says he agrees with Mo Big. Skits is a reprinting of old stuff, including some webtoons, I believe. So yeah, Skits came from a series of sequential dreams I had while working the graveyard shift at a local TV station right after college graduation. This is Michael. My sleeping patterns blurred my dreams into a waking reality where my nights became my days and my days became my nights. The surrealism of waking up from this cycle blurred my days where I dreamt up my character Skits exactly as you see him. All of the detail, his adventures walking or flying in my dream, even down to the medical scrubs, industrialized boots, to the very straitjacket you see Skits wearing on his journey.
Sized boots. But close.
So yeah, I think the webtoons was turned into a book. I think there's a couple different books in this campaign.
What'd you say?
That there was a couple different books in this campaign. Oh, I didn't read yet. All right, so we asked the same question for readers of Skits, the book, or The Sun, Book 1, which debuted our 3-book variant cover and storyline comic book that saw Skits escape the insane asylum when he blinks his eyes. Our Choose Your Own Adventure comic brought the reader into the dream world of Skits. Otherworldly planets, ships in the air, technology cut off by the native people, and portal jumping are all part of the Skits story. Will Skits crack under the revelation he's about to uncover, or will the reader be trapped in a dream world blurring their own reality? Will Skits wake up? Will you? So book 1 is available on the Skits Book 0 campaign. I want to say it's just an add-on though. I don't think you can just back the book 1. Oh, right there. So you can get book 1. All right, so yeah, if you don't want to mess with book 0 and you hear good things about book 1 like George believes.
All 3 Giclée prints.
Yeah, I got the one with the well, I think these are reprint. I don't think they're Ziclés. But the one on the top I got.
Yes. Oh yeah.
With the little tree and there's like newspaper print behind them. It's pretty.
You got a print? Didn't you get some original art from him?
I got a Ziclé, that Ziclé, and then I did get some original art. I got there's a picture of a lady and then a little red wagon.
Cool. Do we want to read more? No.
Well, try to find where it says exactly what you get in the campaign. So Eric the Guapo says, I honestly believe this year people are more picky with their pocketbooks. There are a lot of letters before S. Some might say too many. Gets 8 is the main character. One could say that's not enough. Apparently, Dean's in an argumentative mood. All right, so
What are you talking about in the camp? What do you
like referring to the different books that are in it. Okay, so you get the Skits book Origin 0. Its origin shares how it all started. He learned to write, draw, and color skits 14 years ago. It has the good, the bad, and the ugly. Origin will be printed for the first time to include the first 2 floppies sold, a 3rd floppy unprinted, webcomics, and more. Oh, so I guess it's all in one book. Okay. But it's like multiple chapters. So yeah, 2 original floppy comics printed, 1 floppy never printed, 18 web comic 1-pagers never seen. Oh, so it's not even a sequential webcomic, it's just 1-pagers. But it's a perfect bound 100-page experience with multiple pages of art in full color and original storyline. It's definitely kind of crazy. And it's all ages. Add this all ages comic to your collection.
Schizophrenic, you might say.
Yes. There's a lot of words in this. Talking about his past history.
Savannah College, blah, blah, blah.
Worked in the toy industry alongside Tom McFarlane.
It's always good to have keywords in the campaign, I suppose.
So James Hayes says the artist actually did a promotional video with the first book with him locked in a straitjacket. I guess that's one way to get some attention. I recommend book 1, main cover. So there's one of the Ziegles. They do ship their art well. It was definitely in a big rolled tube, so I can speak to their shipping of prints.
Yeah, the art's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's very like dramatic and dreamy. Like I guess is what it should be. But yeah, that one right there is the one that I got. It's big too. It's like 20 by 30 or something. I still need to get a frame for it. I like that one. A little dark though.
You just like it because it's New Englandish.
You think so with the windmill?
It's Holland, New England.
Okay. Go into talking about the husband and wife creative team. I think they're a fun couple. They're definitely bright and bubbly.
Positive.
Yes.
Positive people.
We have another request from the chat.
Wonderful. I read it in my mind.
You're supposed to say it out loud. So James Hayes points out it's sinisterly surreal, turning modern landscapes into a twisted little fantasy. Familiar but off, and not right. James, are you a writer? Because that's very artistic interpretation. So what are they at for their funding? Obviously, they made their goal.
Oh, don't look at that butt, George.
Moonin'.
They are at. Oh, that must be funded. It's in demand, right?
No, yeah. No, it's definitely funded. So just over 4,000.
So why aren't stretch goals shown? Said they're going to hide stretch goals until funded.
Did they? I'm trying to remember if they updated that they did a stretch goal or not. I'm not sure.
We'll look at the updates and see if there's
There you
any. On schedule, printing underway. All first aid backers getting a sketch perk. Is that the only update? Oh,
I thought there was 2.
Stretch scrolls are 4K unlocked. Upgraded cover stock.
Oh, there. So you find out what the stretch goal is in the update after it happens.
Right. So 7K is the next one that's locked. Interior page upgrade. And then at 10,000, a fourth Giclée print.
Gets over the bridge. All right, so they did announce it here, but it is kind of funny that the stretch goal they announced after they got it by the looks, which kind of a funky way of looking at stretch goals, because stretch goals are supposed to be the fact that, hey, I kind of want to receive that, so let's push to get it to that point.
Yeah, it sounds like they're just updating as stretch goals. Hidden stretch goals are reached. I think after it funded, they probably should have just listed in the campaign.
Yeah. Mobix points out the most prolific husband and wife creative team is Hockey and Mrs. Hockey. They've created 50 kids. And George has a suggestion for you, Jim. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
No, you didn't see it, or the answer is no?
Probably both.
I think that'd be funny. Good suggestion, George.
Jason Black and I would have an awesome show.
Where's Jim answer all my questions is ... no.
I want to commission Jason for some art, but it'd probably take 3 years because he's too detailed.
Are you saying he's slow?
No.
He's amazing, though. He is amazing. Yeah. No, I've seen his art. They're like photorealistic, so yeah.
Plus, I'd probably have to pay him to come to the United States to find the bird that I want a painting of.
You don't think you could send a picture?
That's no fun.
Although maybe with shipping prices, it might be easier to ship him over rather than the work.
Yeah, right.
How about congratulations? You are still alive. Most people are so ungrateful to be alive. Oh, wait. That's supposed to be Jim saying that. And I'm going to take that as another no.
No, I have no idea what they're from, or I could try to mimic it. Mimic it. It must be some movie stuff, and I'm not a movie person. I don't own a television.
I can't say I recognize the references either, but yeah. James Hayes points out their work is good, but they can't sell it if not enough eyes find it. Exactly. It makes me sad. Too many small creators simply can't overcome the promotional hurdle right now. Yeah, I think that's a downfall for a lot of people. You know, they don't know where to turn for getting on shows, or they have a hard time asking to get on shows, or they just feel self-conscious when they're on shows, so think it'd be better if they weren't on the shows.
Dean knows what it's from, but I don't.
Of course he would. The last two are actually from Saw, Jason says. Hey, 24 Eyes, thanks for popping in. Alright, so I think we're good on campaigns. Yes? No? Anything else you want to look at this one?
No.
Alright.
Anything else we want to look at?
I don't think so.
What's to look at?
Yeah, chat, if there's something else you wanted to discuss or look at, feel free to add it in the chat. While we're waiting for their response, I'll talk about my Kickstarter experience. So I did back a Kickstarter book a couple weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, maybe? 2 weeks ago. It was the Exiled, the Adam Lawson, Esquivo, and, working with Wesley Snipes. And in it, they were talking about having, I think it was like a larger size hardcover book that had a ribbon bookmark. And there's something about ribbon bookmarks that I pay more attention to and I like. So I'm like, oh, I like that. So I was worried because they said it was only available on Kickstarter. So I don't know exactly what they're bringing in over at Indiegogo. Like, should I wait to back on Indiegogo? But what if it's not the same thing that's brought over? Because they said it's going to be different. Usually they bring stuff They have to do something that's different cover, whatever. So I'm like, all right, I want that version. I'm going to back that version. So I created a Kickstarter to do so, and I backed it. Now, it wasn't very long before the campaign ended. So, I think I backed on the 20th. It told me that it was going to take out the money on the 25th. And the fact that it doesn't take out money right then is actually my biggest issue with Kickstarter, because I want them to, if I'm going to buy it, take my money now, and then I can, budget other things or worry about other bills or whatever. I don't have to worry about like backing 15 projects and they're all coming out in the same week because that's when the campaign's closing, the feast or famine type thing. And then here I go and I have things that are bouncing because there's not enough in my checking account. So, yes, take my money now. So of course I go with Kickstarter and I back it, and the 25th comes when the campaign closes. I go to take the money out and I get this notice from Kickstarter that basically says, "Hey, my payment didn't go through." I'm like, "What? Why did my payment go through?" So it led me to a little bit more investigating, where the weekend before, because this was a Monday, so the Saturday before, I went to the Girl Scouts with the Girl Scouts to a troop event to a fun town. Well, it was fun town, but it's amusement park, water park, where the whole group, drove there, did it, and the troop paid for it. Well, I must have handed my personal card rather than the troop card, because I found out that I spent $900 for my personal account that I didn't realize I did. So I was like, whoops. So that was why my payment didn't go through. And I was like, "Oh man, of course it has to happen with my first Kickstarter venture." And of course it was not Kickstarter's fault. It was my fault. But it was just like, goes to show, Kickstarter, take my money now. Don't wait. Anyways.
Did I
So
miss anything?
yeah, boring story.
I
All
just
right.
went, microwaved some food, walked to the other end of my mansion, went to the bathroom, came back.
Okay. James Hayes points out, did you ask for a book to check out? Have you looked at Shanthan Jetty's Nosfero with the Crypt Walker on IGG? He's hand painting every panel of the comic book. Amazing talent. Actually, we have not checked that out. I don't know if we want to do that today or save that for next week or what. But yeah,
Probably wait for a
Shanthan's
milestone. We can take a look at it.
amazing. He had a milestone last week or week before, but yeah, no. But usually
What
with the show, we
milestone?
like to look at underfunded or not funded campaigns. So Nosfero has been funded for a while. It is doing pretty great. I think he made 30K a couple weeks ago, so he's over 30K now. I think that was the goal that he made. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, we could probably check that out in a future one. I know, unless we want to
We could take a quick look at
do
it. If
something
you
for
want.
10 minutes and then call it an hour and a half would be good. Shant says it's one of his favorites. His artwork is gorgeous. Yeah. I held out I did back this a couple weeks ago. Oh, it's only at 28,000. So it must have been I don't know what milestone, but I backed to help him get some sort of round number. I don't remember what it is now. But I held out on it for a while because while I think his art is amazing, the subject matter isn't really to my tastes. So I wasn't really, and I don't really know much about the story. I know he's doing the painting all live on air. So if you watched all of his CG Waffle House streams, you would probably know a lot more about it. But I don't tend to catch them all. I catch very few. And I'm usually in there for maybe half hour at a time and then I pop out. So, but Shant does really well with streaming by himself
Is he
and
still streaming now?
doing the art. Is he still live now? Yeah, I was in there before we came here.
No, I was asking. I don't know if he is.
Oh, he might be. He was before we started.
No, I think he's done now. Anyway.
Mo says I got that book Primitive War and it was frustrating because I used backer kits, so it was a Kickstarter type experience for the payment. Yeah, when I had to fix my my payment, they included the shipping, so I'm assuming they're not coming back for a payment for shipping, which I've heard some things sometimes it happens on Kickstarter, which is really weird. But yeah, look at that. It's all painted, and he does majority of it live on stream, which I don't understand how he can paint like that, interact with the chat very well, and tell all the
Yeah,
stories that he does.
he's one of the very few that can stream alone
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not have dead air. But like someone said, he's, a college instructor or professor, so he's used to presenting.
And Shant is doing this all by himself, right? It
I
did say the
believe so.
team down bottom. I don't know. He's definitely doing the art all by himself. I'm not
Yeah,
sure if
I would
he's.
imagine he would have a letterer, but unless it's like
I
that.
think one of the stretch goals is to get Eric Weathers as a letterer,
Right.
which might be the 30K stretch goal. Yeah, 30K. Eric Weathers
Yeah,
as a
which
letterer.
we're creeping up on.
Yeah. Was there about the team? Okay, right there. Wife and
His,
I, both artists and designers. So it is him and his wife.
yep.
But yeah, this is his first campaign, I believe. Oh no, he technically second because I think he had his like sketchbook that he did through Indiegogo. Oh, this is his third. What else was there besides the sketchbook? I want to say this is the first comic book. I know there's a sketchbook, and apparently there's something else.
Two art books.
2 art books. Okay. Jason has another request. They like your deep voice, Jim. JP points out Shanth, Bob Ross, and Jetty. We'll just put a happy little demon up there. That's what's he doing up there? Well, that's for you to decide. Yeah. And it was nice. He also did original paintings as some of the tiers. It took a while for those original paintings to go, though they're head sketches technically. Um, but they are sold out now. And it might be people kicking themselves later. I know I debated. It was a bit of a price, but I did debate. I know I did like the I think one of the reasons why I debated is because it had like the monsters that you could choose from. You know, you could choose the wolf, the Dracula, the I'm not even sure what other monster. And I'm like, I don't know that I want a little painted head sketch of those. You know, I liked that he did the ARO and then they bid on it, which it went to Bancroft's house. And that was gorgeous, you know. So Astro Zombie is saying that he hopes he reprints the art books. He would definitely picking up those. That maybe that's
And
his
I
next
don't I
project.
don't see any reason for any of these artists not to reintroduce art books and maybe mix and match, put both in one, charge enough to pay for it. New stuff, whatever.
So James Hayes, I would hate to be the guy that has to make word balloons and letter over that kind of art. Yeah, that'd be a tough decision. So what can I cover? What can't I cover? It all is so pretty you don't want to cover it. Maybe that's why he's hiring the professional, although that's going to make it difficult for Weathers because Weathers is going to be like, well, you know, maybe Shantz would be the person to do the lettering over his own book. But hey.
It'd be neat to see what Weathers comes up with, though, because he couldn't just do normal old comic book letters, balloons. Could he?
I don't know.
You'd need. I would think you would want some kind of artistically styled font.
Yeah. Because it's a
Something that
different
matches.
book. It calls
Not
for something
exactly
different.
watercolor, but some style that blends in with the artwork.
Mo points out that Bancroft was using Shant's arrow painting as a welcome mat to his dilapidated shack until Mrs. B made him frame it and hang it in the house.
Pasta.
I was going to say, his name's not Dan, it's Pasta Master. Thanks for coming, though, as we're getting ready to end. All right, so how much can we get this book for, Jim? We can at least cover that part. So $25 for a signed comic book.
$10 shipping to the U.S., $15 to the U.K.
So pretty standard. Now, James is
20 to
suggesting.
Australia.
Yeah. Kyle Ritter used transparent word balloons for his book Starblades, allowing you to see the art behind it. Nah, I didn't read Starblades, so I wasn't aware of that. That is a suggestion. Will be interesting to see how it's done. Yeah.
That's actually a picture of Past Master Dan, apparently.
I guess so. Wasn't I a cute kid? The YouTube symbol's covering up half your face. Oh, there it is. Yes, you were a past master.
I guess. Looks like any kid from 1970.
Complete with the cowlick. Another one there, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, I'm assuming we've run out of things. We've covered 3 different campaigns. Anything exciting coming up for the week that we can relay? Whether it's streams or news? I don't think so. Trying to think what's coming up. Oh, I know that Uncorked we've this Friday night.
Oh, is it already that time again?
It is. Well, it's the 31st. It's the last day of the month. So the first Friday of August is going to be the 5th. So yeah, this Friday will be Uncorked.
Oh,
Pretty
I'll be
sure
traveling.
24 and I will be back doing pop culture Thursday night. I know we've gone on a bit of a hiatus. Chat on Saturday. Although I think I might be going visiting, so I'm not sure if I'll be available for the chat, but we'll see. I don't think there's any launches coming up. Tiger Blue 2 will be closing out Wednesday, I think it was.
Yeah, and
Oh,
they got
shoot.
that.
That's one that I forgot last night. Damn it. Sorry, Fowler, if you are listening. I pulled up Testament that was ending last night. Tonight, Testament 2 is ending. And then Tiger Blue 2 is ending, I think he said Wednesday when I was watching the Stank stream.
Yeah, people can go get blue balls.
Yep, that's true. I guess that technically launched. It's a lot of people are attributing it to slide into my DMs, Joe M. Sontag, but Sean Arendt was the original one that did that with his Type 1. So basically you can DM Fowler through Twitter or whatnot, or you can PayPal. But it's basically $15 for the book, $5 for shipping. It's a ashcan style mini comic with a team up with Sully from Roach Balls, and I don't know if the character's Tiger Blue from Tiger Blue. Like, I'm not sure if he has more of a name to it, but it's the Blue Tiger. And so you can back it. I want to say it has something to do with Santa, like a Christmas special. They're not giving a whole bunch of details, but it was supposed to be a fun ride, and you can PayPal the $20. I want to say it's Jennifer at Retrographic Books, but definitely slide into Fowler's DMs to get the correct PayPal.
Is it 20? It was 15 and 5 shipping or what?
Yeah, $15 for the book, $5 for shipping. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, there was thought that D-Wag was launching a new show tonight on his channel. Not 100% confirmed. I know he was talking about basically how some of the work got lost when, unfortunately, Steve Worcester's Twitter got nuked. Or permabanned, I guess is technically the right word for it. So, yeah, that might be premiering tonight. Watch for it if you're a D-Wag fan.
Yeah, people need to watch their P's and Q's and not blame other people when they get banned from Twitter.
All right. I think we're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Thank you all for joining. I hope you had a fun time. We should see you next week. If not, stay tuned. We'll let you know.
Yeah, you might be a solo next week. I'll be traveling to visit family.
See, me too. So maybe we won't be having a show next week. Or maybe I'll get back in time and I'll do a solo show. Who knows? All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining, and see ya.
Talk to you all later.